Hello, everyone. How's it going? There we are. I found it. All right. Hi, everyone. How you doing? What's up, Eidolon? Sorry, Chris Radsby. Do you remember Chris?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hey, Chris.
Chris, you may remember
Nice to see
Oscar.
you. Come down, say hi.
Chris is actually over on the Avatar side.
Oh,
so he's
well, run
in
over,
another
say hi
building.
then.
But yes, so people who don't know, Oscar used to work here at Massive, and now doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what Bad North is. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves quickly so we can we know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm Oscar Stahlberg. I do the art and procedural generation for Bad North. Yeah, I used to work here some 3 years ago, I think. So, I mean, I live like just a few blocks away, so it's really fun to come back to this building and yeah, have a look, say hi to some of the people, see how much it has changed. Hasn't changed that much, actually.
No.
But yeah, I used to be a tech artist when I worked at Massive, so I worked a lot on the first the division.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm Richard. I'm also working on Bad North. I do a mixture of programming and design and businessy things.
Businessy things. The fun stuff.
Exactly. Someone needs to do it.
Yeah.
Luckily, we can offload a lot of that onto the publisher, but it's there's still plenty that needs doing, and Oscar doesn't like doing it, so I get to do it.
So,
Lucky me.
how long has it been since? Because who's the publisher that you're working with?
As Raw Fury.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long's that been going on?
Well, it's been 1.5 years, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Last summer we signed with them. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
the game had been in the making for about half a year when they joined.
Nice. And when did Bad North actually release?
August, depending on which
Yeah.
platform.
So Switch and consoles in August, and then we went to Discord in November when their store opened,
Yeah.
and then October, and then Steam in November.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're coming to mobile sometime this year, but we don't know when exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like all the platforms.
All right. Are you ready to see me painfully try to give this a go?
Yes.
All right.
You will do quite well.
Do
So,
I need to look at any settings before I get stuck in?
Yes, actually,
All
because you want to turn up the anti-aliasing to super sampled.
Gotcha.
There we go, and that should be good otherwise.
What languages do you support?
Some different
A
ones.
few.
No Swedish.
No Swedish.
no.
Interesting.
Swedish is just awkward. I mean, very few Swedish people want to play games in Swedish, I think.
Well, we were talking about this before. Like living in Sweden, we are kind of struggling to learn Swedish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a good way. Are there any games you would recommend that are Swedish localized?
I don't know when I last played a game in Swedish.
All right.
Like kids games probably are. But
Yeah.
But
Alright, well,
the
kids
thing is,
games
you're
then.
not learning it very well then, because the translations are always quite awkward.
Okay.
The words are not really used in the right way and stuff like that.
All right. One day. So just super sampling, then we're
Yeah,
that's
that
I
should be
think.
good.
Good to go, 'cause I'm gonna
Unless
play
you're
with the mouse.
Inverter or something.
all right. We're good. Let's get stuck in.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Difficulty.
What
do you reckon?
I think you should
Keep
go
it on
to
normal?
hard.
Yeah, hard. Let's go
I think you
hard.
should go to hard.
All right.
Yeah.
Do I need the tutorial?
You may as well.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of.
It's super short.
Okay.
It's better.
So this is selected right now.
No,
No, it's not.
Unselected. Now it's
Yeah,
selected.
There you go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just basic controls.
All right.
Oh,
Like-
shout outs to Domino. Hey man,
Oh, hello.
he's a bit, he's on our Discord a lot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. This is my home. I like my home.
Yeah, it's quite cute.
Can rotate. Cool. All right. All right. Use the mouse wheel to zoom. Gotcha. I'm doing pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I'm quite proud of my abilities. Click on my soldiers. All right. Any tile. Okay.
As right click too.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
And
Defend
that's
my
all
houses.
the tutorial you get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're on your own.
Yeah. So that's what you do.
All right. Oh, okay. I see these creepy dudes coming. Do I get a high ground advantage?
Not much. I think. Not
All right.
really.
Well, no, not in this case.
Because I don't have any ranged.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are all like crappy militia units with just a little sword.
All right.
So at the moment we're covering up the squad UI in the bottom left corner.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how
Oh
much
yes. Let me
not super important now, but it's kind of useful to be able to see.
let me just adjust a couple of things. So I'll move us.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
Is
Yeah.
the height going to be
No, that's
better like this? If I
Yeah, that should be
you know what?
fine.
I'll just get rid of the overlay.
Yeah.
We can do without the pretty stuff for now. Let's just
Yeah.
Oh,
shit.
oh, no.
Oh shit. Yeah,
Can
so
I set
you
up control groups? Is that
They are. I mean, you have 2 squads, so they
Okay.
are on 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
So there's they're automatically control grouped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you see, when you give them orders, time slows down as well. So
That's
you
nice.
have some
Oh,
time to,
okay. Can I repair anything, or is it
no,
automatically?
the fire goes out after that.
Okay.
If the houses burn up, then they're burnt up. But otherwise, the fire will go out after a bit.
Okay. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, for those who haven't seen the game before, the islands are, of course, procedurally generated. So you'll get new islands every time you play.
That's cool.
And that's kind of how the game got started as well, like the development of the game.
Yeah, I was talking to you a little bit earlier about that because I remember seeing like on Facebook like your things that you were posting about little tech art experiments you were doing.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea? Because I remember looking back, it was like a little island building.
Yeah, I've done a few.
experiment.
I've done a few different ones. Like procedural generation has been an interest for some time. So I've done like a few like island generators and one where you can build like nice brick houses and one where you can build a planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that just interest for a while, and then I sort of felt that it was kind of time to start an indie game. So then I had a procedural thing I was working on at the time, and then I turned that into to this.
Cool. What was the biggest challenge that you had kind of taking that initial idea to something that was a game?
Well, oh my god! I mean, there was a lot of challenges, but well, the game kind of needed to be designed around what was reasonable to build with the environments.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like one technical issue early on where we didn't have a good way of like making sure to generate islands that were actually playable. So we would generate islands, but then we would have to analyze them afterwards, and sometimes they were not playable, so then we'd have to discard them and generate new islands, right?
Okay.
So that could take a long time, especially for larger, more complicated islands, right? You could get like an island, but there was no way to get from the bottom of the island to the top of the island and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So then we were gonna go with like a version where you have a curated list of seeds for island that we would have to like generate offline, and then you could generate it.
So yeah, the original version was very, very different, where it was just a linear campaign with islands that we decided on in advance, and a lot of things had to happen to change it around to be this fully procedure generated. And it kind of became a thing where we had this procedural tech, and it was kind of in a way too slow to sort of generate on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it felt like such a shame to
not do it. Yeah. It
yeah.
felt like it should be properly procedurally generated unique things every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
But we needed some sort of tech breakthroughs to make it.
yeah.
Yeah. So there was one breakthrough in the actual algorithm to generate it, but then it was also that Richard turned it over to run on threads, so we can generate multiple islands in the background
Yeah.
while you're doing other
So
things.
whenever you're not actually in the island playing the battles, and we've got agents simulating, anytime you're in the map or at the end of the level, it will be just churning on background threads to build islands in advance of when you get there.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
All right. How am I doing?
I think you're doing fine.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Got any tips for me?
Well, if one of the if like that unit is running quite low, so you might need to replenish him, but maybe not, because maybe that's the last wave, and then you do need all your units.
Okay.
Maybe take the
Yeah, make sure here's a tip. Don't stand exactly where the ship's gonna land, because they have like a bit of a knockback and they can knock your troops over.
Okay.
So you want to just like, well, that's fine. That's a fine distance. Like, just not right next to where they land.
Okay.
and just watch out for your banner wielding guys getting killed.
Okay.
If they're dead, you lose the squad.
Yeah, exactly.
Permanently.
All right. Good to
Yeah.
know.
So you can lose your individual soldiers, but the actual commander characters, whose little portraits are also procedure generated.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So-
we got here Thea and Donahue.
That's cool.
So you'll have new little charming characters every time. Yeah, so now you got a bunch of gold, so you give the gold to your characters.
Cool.
Give it all to, like, get one of them up to 6 gold, and then try and get the other one up to 6. Oh, that's good. So
Oh,
now we'll
okay.
be able to, we'll buy those later in the campaign menu.
All right. So I get currency based on how
Saving
many
houses,
buildings.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
So you can use the houses for replenishing troops as well when they're hurt. and for and that's the basic currency of the game. So
Cool.
that's also an example of how the game was kind of designed around the algorithm for because we don't really do any deliberate level design, right? Because it's all generated.
Yeah.
But if you have a bunch of houses that are sort of spread out, and you and the resource, you get resources in the game by saving the houses.
Wait. Ooh, go back to the map.
What did I do? Exit to map?
Yeah.
All right, what did I
And
miss?
click on one of your...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Yeah. So now you can start upgrading.
All right. Okay, hang on. Well, I like this.
Archer, that's all right. And the other guy.
Well, probably one defensive.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'm making bad decisions, but that's
Pikes, yeah.
That's-
No, it depends on when we encounter enemy archers.
what's.
That's that's
Okay,
an
I need-
ability. Yeah, but you need more gold
I need money for
one,
that.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, and how
Which
does
way?
yeah.
yes, English gentleman, you can do that. I'll allow it. How much is this? It looks cool. It was $14.99 on Steam right now.
Yeah,
I just
or
missed
is it on
the
a
sale.
sa- oh, yeah.
No,
missed
it's
the
just
sale.
missed the sale.
Oh.
There'll be other sales at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Does the weather affect me at all, or is it just pretty?
No, it's just
Okay.
pretty.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, but now you have a pike unit,
Yes.
and that unit is a bit special in that he can't really attack; he can only defend.
Okay.
So when he's moving, he pulls the pikes up, and
Okay.
then he puts them down when he stops. So when his pikes are down, he's really good at defending.
Okay.
But when he's moving, he's vulnerable.
All right. Good
So
to
if
know.
he gets overwhelmed, they'll pull the pikes up and panic a bit, and then they get wiped. So it's one of those units that, if you use them the right way, you can use them without losing any units. But if
Okay.
you use them the wrong way, they all die very
Oh.
quickly.
Okay. There we go. I'm gonna put them there, and I'll bring.
And of course, your archers give you the advantage of being able to kill if they hit. They give you the advantage to be able to kill enemies before they even arrive.
Oh no!
Yeah.
My hit chance. It's all off.
If they hit,
There we go.
you
Wow, that was
yeah,
good.
It's quite random. Yeah.
They as you can level them up, so
Yeah.
you can get veteran and elite archers, and once they get to elite, they're quite powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I could just leave my team here.
Well, I pull them back one step so they don't
Up here?
get hit. Well, yeah, just one tile back I think is good. Yeah, just so they don't get hit straight with the bow. Because
Okay.
they get a little bit confused about how to fight them.
Is there friendly fire?
Mostly not.
Mostly
archers,
not.
with the
So
archers.
no, so there's as you upgrade further, there are some abilities that are active abilities. So at the moment, all you're doing is just telling your troops where to go, and they're deciding how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
You have some abilities on the upgrade paths that are more manual, and some of those, like explosive bombs and a few other things, will do friendly fire.
Okay.
Especially if they make throw your units into the wall.
Yeah.
The game gets more units start flying around after a bit when you start getting powerful things. Oh, that's
Okay.
nice. So now you got an item because you won that
Ooh.
island. I don't know if you saw, but from the campaign map, it had a little heptagon
yeah.
with a question mark on it. So that was an item.
Cool.
You'll assign that in the upgrade screen.
All right. I'm gonna max
Yeah.
Yeah.
into one.
So on this map, you can see there's a couple of islands with extra markings on them. So there's a
Like this thing?
yellow one,
Yeah.
purple one, and
Oh, okay.
so the purple and yellow, those are where you can recruit new heroes from.
Yeah.
And the question mark
Ah.
is where there's another item. So
Exactly.
you
Okay.
But you want to
yeah.
assign the new item you found first. So that's in the
Yeah.
same. Yeah, exactly.
So I can go in here and then
You
this
got-
was
yeah.
my item.
The
Yeah.
ring of command. It's
Ooh,
really good.
maximum squad size. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So now your archers will have more units on.
So they already have more units, or do I need to unlock more?
Yeah,
units?
no,
No.
they have 12 now,
Yeah.
and if
Oh,
you
nice.
pay more, you can bring it up to 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And
And I couldn't. So I have 6 points left. I can't buy anything.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
Yeah. So now you need to next turn. So they're all
Starting to
rested and then play the next.
understand. All right.
Yeah. And you
Oh,
see
you
this
can
sort
also-
of field coming in from the left, marking some islands as unplayable. So it's kind of like in FTL. You need to stay ahead of the curve, so you won't have time to play all islands actually.
Cool. Well, I love me some FTL. I never managed to finish FTL on hard though. The game was tricky.
I think I've only played
I
a few minutes of FTL.
I know I managed to finish FTL. I loved it, and I played it quite a bit, but I never actually finished it.
I think I finished it on normal, but that game is intense. It's really cool. How does the difficulty curve work here? Does it ramp up? Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
So here you have a bit of a problem because
I didn't see that.
Your pikes can't really chase people down.
But your archers dealt with them just fine. Yeah.
But I could basically.
You could basically just stand there and you'll win this level, no problem.
All right. Yeah. I can like basically 300 them here.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Fives Fit, doing good. How are you? Okay. This is cool. It's kind of like it feels like a really interesting take on tower defense, in some kind of way.
Yeah. It's like tower defense without the towers.
Yeah.
No, there were much more when the game. Well, I actually thought about making a tower defense game first, but then I decided there should be armies instead, and then so some of the initial design decisions were even more tower defensive than they are now.
And in the early stages, when something wasn't entirely sure how it should be, we just made it like Kingdom Rush.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing that we would sort of iterate and change things, it was just like when we weren't sure and we're feeling things out, it was like, oh, that's how Kingdom Rush does it, let's do that. And then, obviously it's not exactly tower defense and it's kind of real-time strategy, but it's kind of also like got the slowdowns and doesn't have all the base building and very stripped down. It's like...
Okay.
Well, nice. So now you can buy an ability. Yeah.
Auto on a save.
Or you can save, yeah. Both are.
So your choices there are either the active ability with a bit more like micromanagement, or you can just get the veteran upgrade, which is passive.
Which just makes them like more powerful.
I quite like that. I quite like the passive ones.
Right.
All right. No, I'm definitely not buff enough to be Leonidas. Sorry. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go and see what I can get from this yellow thing.
Yeah. You get
Glenn.
Oh, Glenn.
Yeah.
He seems cool. Wait, so he's already...
He lives here.
So if you play this level, you get him.
I don't have him yet.
Yeah.
Well, you will fight with him now because he's...
okay.
You're going to come and help him defend his hometown.
Exactly.
His home island.
That's
and
cute.
if you successfully defend it with him, he'll join you.
Yeah.
Okay. So he has like some little warrior guys.
Yeah, he's the basic. He was the same like your troops were before you upgraded them.
Yeah.
So they can fight, but they don't have any...
So if you get into trouble with your pikes, so you can't, you now have troops that can chase people down.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, which
so
is
here,
handy.
if these enemies go the other way and don't... Then you can send the yellow guys...
so I can...
Exactly, just like that.
Just like that. There we go.
Right.
Nice.
Got it. Okay. I'm stressed.
And there you see, those enemies have shields, I guess, that come in.
Yeah,
so they actually guard against the arrows with those shields. So you can see actually the arrows bouncing off the shields and getting stuck in the shields.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Though if they if you shoot at them from two directions, or if they're occupied with fighting, then they won't be able to defend against the arrows with the shields.
Okay.
So it's a pretty nice. Sometimes I use the setup where I put my archers right behind my pikes. So then just when the enemies are charging in towards the pikes, the arrows just hit them as well.
Okay. All right. I can see how this gets infinitely more intense.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. And so if I lose a unit, I think actually in the last one I lost one archer.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
That's okay because they come back.
Yeah, they come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Here though, oh my god. Oh, so that's enemy archers coming in.
On this side.
Yeah, on both sides, actually.
Okay. What?
So your archers are doing okay there, but those yellow guys, they don't have any shields, so they get shot down.
Okay. So I could have waited for them to land?
Yeah, and then just ran out from,
So you maybe want to send the yellow guys to replenish.
Yes. That's
how do I do that?
So if you see the little house icon in the corner?
Yes.
Just click that one and then click one of the houses.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
You go.
Oh, I don't want to put my archers there.
No, pull them up. And then just make sure to defend with the pikes. And this is, they're going to come from two directions here. So this is actually...
Uh-oh.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so that's all good.
Okay, they're going that way.
So you want to move up the archers, of course. Oh.
No. Oh, wait, I chose the wrong ones. No! Wrong selection. All right.
It's not beautiful, but I think these things will last. And here you can see the pikes just sort of running around panicking.
Yeah, see them panicking.
Because they're not... But now you got the yellow ones back, so they can probably finish off the...
Okay. Glenn is not impressed by
No. Sorry,
And then
Glenn.
you saw one of the houses burned up as well. But it was a small house, so
it's only worth one, right?
It's only one. Yeah, exactly. So you got 3 coins still.
None of your commanders died, which is the most important
That's
thing.
the most important thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got Glenn now.
Yeah,
so
I would give the coins to Glenn so he can... I mean, you do as you please, of course, but so you can get some shields, for example, against the enemy archers.
Okay. I think, was it 12 for the
it's 12 for
arrow?
that.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that.
All right.
I'm feeling greedy.
That was Glenn's money as well, by the way. It did just come to his home and save
Glenn.
him from the Vikings, but then rob him.
Yeah. Saving him free, is it?
It's a tough world out there.
Yeah. Anyone in chat, if you have questions for these wonderful developers, do feel free to ask.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's called Malma?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna have to go there at some point.
Yeah. Though, and now you see, you didn't play Krauss Island when you had the chance, so now you'll never be able to play that, which also means that you'll never be able to get the purple commander.
I can't go back there?
You probably can't get there before.
Get there in time.
Technically, yes, you can, because you can take. You don't have to take your whole team. So you can take multiple islands per turn. So if you want to really ramp up the difficulty and save that purple guy,
I'm good.
That's a bit of a pro.
Yeah.
I think in the
I'm far from pro.
To take 3 islands with 3 troops, one of which is militia, I think you would be
struggling.
Okay.
You got some veteran archers now.
I don't know if you see, but they have like steel helmets now, for example, where they only had blue hats before.
Yeah,
they look a
cool.
little bit fancier.
Yeah.
Well, maybe zoom in and show the chat how fancy they look. It's always kind of nice to see.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. I don't know if my archer positioning is good.
I think it's perfectly fine. I think that's a good.
Right.
Yeah. So you got the yellows as backups if they go that way, but if they go up the ramp, then you have the reds.
What was the biggest hurdle in developing the game? That's a tough question.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I think figuring out how the economy works was.
Oh god, yeah, that's probably the most discreet.
Yeah, yeah. It took a long time. Also, making the spear units was really hard, but it was also really fun. Like, it took a lot of iteration to make those working well and feeling distinct.
Yeah.
And just like not looking buggy.
Uh-oh. Oh, they're coming in. Damn it, Glenn. Oh no, they're really coming in. Ah.
So you might want to replenish Glenn.
Replenish Glenn. Go home, Glenn. Go to the fancy house.
And now just hope they go the right way.
Yeah.
Because if they go the
I
wrong
might have to chase them.
Go that way.
I don't think they're gonna go that way either.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I can make it up.
You want to chase them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
The veterans can a ring of command squad of veteran archers. They can probably take it. Yeah, exactly. They can take it down easily.
All right.
Also, of course, like a core strategy of the game is like you can give up some houses, right?
True.
So now you have houses all over the place, but if you just give up the bottom house, you can focus on defending the top houses, right?
Yeah. I'm letting Glenn kind of just.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll
flank.
manage. I think you'll manage this time, but sometimes that's the best thing to do. Yeah.
Okay.
There is also a mechanic in the game where, because you have permadeath on the heroes, you can actually flee the island.
Yeah.
If you decide you can't win it. Like next to the replenish icon, you have a little ship in blue, and you can jump on one of the enemy ships and just run away.
Yeah, just run away if you feel like it's lost. Because then, like, you don't win the island, but you didn't lose any heroes. So that's I feel like in a proper long run for like in a proper campaign for me, I'd probably flee 2 islands or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah. I think I've normally fled when I've tried to take.
Ooh, that's a lot of enemies.
Yeah, it's a lot of enemies, and I don't know what the.
I think if they go for that bottom. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Like oh no!
Back up with the.
Can I get them up there? No.
Not the red ones, no. But
can I? I don't know if I want to replenish.
No.
I can't.
Back up or fleet or maybe fleet. Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, my banner man.
Okay, I would flee now if I were you. With
How do I do that?
All of them. Just click the flee and then click a ship. No, one of
Oh,
those.
no, not that one.
Oh, he's dead.
No.
No.
This is. I don't think this is gonna work out.
No, it's not going to work
gonna
out.
work out.
It's all over.
We'll start again.
Hard mode is hard. No, Glenn, you're our savior.
Yeah, Glenn's alive, but I don't think is he gonna make it?
You can do it, Glenn.
Oh yeah, it's just two
Oh
of them.
no! What's gonna happen?
Go, Glenn. I believe in you.
Oh my.
Glenn, come on.
This is
Be our
really
savior.
intense. Oh wow! Yes, you won.
Glenn.
It's gonna be a.
Glenn is still really not impressed with the little two guys.
Like we picked him up and then everything fell to shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Glenn.
I don't think it's Glenn's
I don't
fault.
think it's Glenn's fault.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so here you see that Thea and Donahue are now dead.
Forever.
Yeah, so they're falling out.
I think it's.
yeah.
I think that
it
might be
was
game.
Donahue's kept on charging in. That was what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what cost it for you.
Yep.
Oh no. All right, what do we do?
Well, I mean, you
mean-
can technically play with Glenn. He's gonna die.
Yeah. Let's go again.
Yeah, all right. Let's go again. Yeah.
Look,
think we
Also,
could
I
have-
think
I like to be bold, but we're going
Yeah,
bold
okay.
this time.
Oh, you can unclick
Yeah.
tutorial. Yeah.
Right.
Also, I think I recommend going with an infantry unit before the pikes probably. Like the
Okay.
pike unit. When I play myself, I usually get pikes early, but infantry are much easier to work with.
Yeah, easy to understand.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like all those times when sort of things didn't go right, and you
panic
were
and move the pikes. And
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly, 'cause
No,
you-
panic sets in.
yeah. And like the thing is, the infantry are your kind of like panic unit.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the ones who are mobile. They've got shields. They're quite tough. They can run around and mop things
Mhm.
up.
Yeah.
So they're very much a useful unit for panicking.
But also keep in mind that when you have a unit selected, the game slows down.
Mm.
So you don't actually need to panic usually. Usually you can just like select the unit and then just think about, okay, what am I actually doing here? And then do it.
Yeah, it's quite a nice balance on that because when you have units selected, you have a slowdown, but it doesn't stop time.
Yeah, so you need to act, but
Yeah.
but you get a bit of breather,
Yeah, when things go bad, they go bad fast. That is so true.
yeah.
All right.
And it's like once you're a bit more used to the game, like you tend to spend a lot of time like setting things up, and you know it's it's largely quite like relaxing in a way.
Yeah.
A lot of it because it's not a lot of actions per minute, not a lot of micromanagement,
Yeah.
but you always need to be ready for that moment when things
Something
don't go
breaks, yeah.
right. Yeah.
And then you sit, play like this for a bit, and then you're like, okay, what's happening?
I at least hope I'll learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And so the name of this island, Nordby,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually just the neighborhood in Uppsala where I grew up. So there's a
Ah.
few islands like that which are named for like sentimental reasons.
Cute. Are there any like little Easter eggs in the names? Beyond
I mean, not beyond those kind of geographical names.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are a bit of a chuckle, I guess.
It's
but,
Halloween Martins.
oh yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
I'm actually not sure what that is to him.
No,
but
I think it's a small island that he has some connection for.
yeah.
Outside of Oslo. Yeah. Well, and his company is called that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I should be scanning for where they're coming in from. There we are.
Yeah. But this is also, there's only two, like the houses are only on the hill, and there's only two ways up the hill.
Yeah.
So
it looks
that's,
like they're coming in here.
Yeah. So it's not going to be a big
I think I'll be alright.
I think you'll be just
What is the most hardcore unit in the game? Or is that too much of a spoiler?
It's a bit of a spoiler. But
Alright.
I guess I'd say the brute archers.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They,
There's like a unit that they're like giants with huge bows that
Oh my God.
just shoot like very, very large, like spears basically.
Yeah, it's like if you, I assume you have seen the Two Towers,
Yes.
the Battles of Helm's Deep. There's a
Mhm.
there's a moment in that where someone standing on the wall gets hit by a scorpion bolt and goes flying back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That was like that was the inspiration for that unit.
yeah.
It was like, can we make this feeling? Can we make this happen?
That's so cool.
And the thing, like when you have usually. If you don't see them on the boats, usually you discover them by suddenly like an arrow flings in and like kills three of your units in one go. And they're not very hard to kill.
But they're too scary.
Yeah, they're scary, and they're hard because you need to deal with other things at once.
Yeah.
Because if you just deal with them, then you just hide all your units, and then when they've landed, then you rush them, and that's all good. But if you also need to fight off other enemy units, you can't always like hide.
Yeah.
But there's also like we've had when we first released the game, the balancing on those was off.
Yeah, they were too hard. Yeah.
And we accidentally unbalanced them again in a recent patch, which we've now fixed.
Yeah.
But actually going back to the question like what's difficult in the game, balancing has been very difficult in this game. Even though it's sort of relatively simple on the surface, because everything is like simulated, each one of the soldiers is actually simulating all of their attacks and like, you know, do they have their shield up or not? All of that is simulated. It's not kind of a very controlled thing. Yeah. So balancing that is tough.
Yeah. Balancing is also is always tough, and you know, things cascade, and small differences can make large unexpected changes. So that's always a bit of a, and and also since the units are simulating, sometimes you need to balance it by tweaking the rules of the simulation, but that also changes how it looks. So it's like it's quite a delicate kind of thing.
I saw a couple of good questions in here. Actually, I saw Ake was here. Ake Halgren, how you doing, man? Another X Massive.
Oh, who's that?
Ake.
Ake. Oh, that's nice.
Remember?
Hey, Ake. Yeah, no, of course I know Ake. Yeah. Nice to see Ake.
It's so pretty. It is so pretty.
Ake released a game recently.
Yes,
too.
For free.
What Never Was, I think it's called. Yeah, that's really, I haven't played it yet.
I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
It looks really nice.
Would you mind if we played it on this channel, Ake, and we could chat about your game?
Yeah.
Someone was also asking, any plans to add PvP?
No. We get that question a lot, like multiplayer, but it's just not, like, we just don't have the capacity. The game isn't written for it from the start. Yeah. So, like, you could make, I can see that, I like that people look at this game and think this would be really fun to play with or against friends. And so, you know, maybe some other... So you could make another game kind of like this that would be good for that, but not for this
not this game. Like,
so it would require us to essentially go back to quite early on and rebuild so many of the game. Yeah, and like all of the things that make the game look really nice and the way the soldiers move and stuff, all of that needs to get redone. Like we need to go back to that level of stuff. And, you know, we've had like...
That's fine.
We've even had, like, at one point we had sort of Chinese publishers were very interested in the game and were interested in predominantly...
For the mobile market, or...?
I think mixture, but, like, they... to begin with, they were all coming with, like, we want networking in this. And they were like, what if we could, like...
But why isn't this Clash of Clans?
Yeah. But they were also like, we can pay for a team to change it to do the network code. And it's like, yeah, but will they be able to keep all of those really, really subtle bits in the simulation that Oscar's put in there, which I don't, like... Knowing the game really well and having spent quite a lot of time working with Oscar and talking to Oscar about what's important or not, I wouldn't trust myself to be able to reproduce that, and I certainly wouldn't trust like an external team. Yeah. We would get something that on the surface was a bit Bad North-ish, but would lose so much of the personality.
Yeah.
I mean, that's because we've seen a few like clones pop up of the game. Actually, I mean, I don't know if any of them are actually legit or if it's just like weird ways to scam people of money. But like people trying to make like shitty clones of the game, and we're so not worried about that because the game is actually not that easy to just clone and reproduce. Like it looks really easy and it's quite easy to play, but there's quite a lot going on with it.
Yeah.
Totally. Ake was also asking if you made the UI as well, Oscar.
Yes, I did make the UI. That was also hard. Making UI is hard. It's always harder than you think.
Yeah.
Well, I made the art for the UI. Rich wrote a lot of the systems for the UI.
Yeah, we've both been working on UI because it's been quite a challenge because neither of us has actually shipped a game in Unity before. Yeah. And you know, like, working out how to make nice UI that animates well within Unity's framework is tricky. Like we have much more. It's much easier now. We're instead of doing networking, we're actually working on expanding the core game, the single player experience at the moment, and that's involved creating some new UI. And I built some new UI for features we won't announce yet, but it went so much quicker now than it did before.
That's cool.
And also I made some art tools for the UI. Like we work a lot with distance fields because like pixel density resolutions is always a pain with UI, and you can solve a lot of that with distance field. I made some tools to make like nice decorations to put everywhere, stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, we got also Anton Kudin on the chat. He's the, do you know Megasphere?
Yes.
That like really cool pixel art game.
Yeah,
I played that a bunch. That is really cool.
Hey, lots of people showing up.
Yeah.
English Gentleman, one of our mods, was asking if you could just introduce yourselves again for the people who have maybe come in a bit late for the stream, so we can talk about what's going on here.
Yeah, no, I'm Oscar Stahlberg. I made the art and a lot of the procedural generation for this game.
Yeah, I'm Richard. I have been doing programming and some design and stuff like that on the game.
Cool. What language is the game made in?
C sharp.
C sharp, yeah.
It's Unity, so it's predominantly C sharp.
Yeah, a lot of shader code.
Well, how have you found working with Unity?
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
You've worked in some Unreal before.
I worked in Unreal. I mean, I would say that.
Snowdrop a bunch, of course.
Yes,
too.
there you go.
Find both Unity and Unreal to be incredibly frustrating a lot of the time, in different ways, very different ways. They both have the problem of being sort of generic, one-size-fits-all engines, and they're both good and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely in the camp of like, I think that unless you are a hugely experienced company or a very large company, or you have some very specific needs, you should be going with an existing engine.
Now you see, now you have shield guys. So obviously the shield guys, your shield guys can defend against their archers with their shields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're okay at running around as well.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. They run around and fight.
Cool.
And they have and you got that. Have you used their item yet?
No. So I have this.
Yeah.
Should I do it?
Maybe not yet.
How many units do you call with it?
You call 3, I think, to begin with.
Okay. So when you're missing 3 units from that squad, you can just call in 3 new units instantly.
Okay.
So
and it's a very good item to have on the inventory because
actually, now it's actually a good time. So just click the item,
and I can use it once per round, or
I think.
Is it one? Yes, but you can. If you upgrade it, you get 2 uses and more people. So it's a really good item for the infantry because they're always running around fighting. They take damage, they take losses, and you don't want to spend time cycling into the house.
Yeah.
So replenish takes quite a while.
Yeah, so it's like a free replenish per.
Exactly.
Mini replenish, yeah.
Especially when you have very few units in the beginning, like you can't really spare a unit, especially not on infantry. Yeah, I usually give the horde to infantry too.
Cool. So I'm gonna go up here.
Yeah, get the red commander.
Yeah.
See who that is.
What advice do you have for anyone that is wanting to make their own game?
Start making it. Get Unity. Post GIFs on Twitter as you're making it. No, but I don't know. I mean, start making things. I actually, because obviously if you work in Unity, you'll need to do a lot of C# scripting and stuff like that, and that's fine, and it's a pretty easy way to learn it. But I actually worked in like visual scripting engines before I started working in Unity. So before I learned proper coding, I worked with it's a super old program called the Games Factory, but nowadays there are things like Game Maker, and there's Construct 2 that I use a bunch. I think they're on Construct 2 now. That's really good.
Unreal has a really competent
that's true.
Visual scripting. I wouldn't want to make a whole game in visual scripting, but I'm a programmer from like. But
and also
training,
if it's, I think some types of game you definitely could write them all in.
Yeah.
I mean, very like systemy, like big complicated things, no, but some more gamey games, definitely, yeah. Because that's, I mean, at least I found that, because I picked up programming fairly late, sort of, but I felt like all the visual scripting thing, that really helped, because some of the basic concepts and like thinking in terms of systems, you do pick up from those things. So that's a fairly good on-ramp, kind of.
I know a few people who like designers at Tarsia, where I used to work.
Yeah.
We did Little Nightmares in Unreal, and a lot of designers had looked at some sort of traditional text scripting and struggled with it. Then did a project with blueprints with the node-based stuff, and then when they went back to text-based scripting, everything clicked much easier. It's a nice stepping stone to jump between.
Yeah. It's the same with the shaders. Like I used to do shaders in visual engines, and then it was super because you could see everything happening. Super nice. But nowadays, like I don't need that. Now I can write the shader code myself. Yeah. So, and also, and this is I think the most important advice: start small but finish things. I think that's So make something small. It doesn't even really have to be a game. Just something small and interactive that feels good to interact with, and that you can start up and click around in, do something, and get some kind of and finish it, and then either publish it online or just show it to people. Because that's just wrap things up and then make something bigger, and then make something bigger, and then make something bigger. Don't start making an MMO straight away.
What?
I would also recommend not trying to give up your day job and making your own game before you're have a bit more experience.
Yeah.
But there's no I think there's sort of a bit of a problem where there's sort of this idea where because you can make games and sell them on Steam, there's this idea that making games there's less of a hobby. I think we promote too little of an idea of making games as a hobby, just for sort of yourself and to share a little with your friends. It's sort of like there's no reason why it can't be that, especially to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. But and also, of course, like we both worked for several years for other studios, learning on their dime instead of our own dime, stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I think that's good. So we were like decently experienced when we started making this. So and also, of course, like indie game is it's a super risky business. You never know how it's gonna go. Like you can spend 2 years making something and then not earn anything from it. So then, like if you have something in your CV from before, then you can just get a job if you fail. Yeah.
That's true.
Because quite probably you'll fail.
it's highly likely.
Statistically, it's like very. And I think we took quite a sort of risk-averse approach to things. Both of us have quite a lot of experience. We both had savings that we could fall back on. We had good CVs that we knew we had a decent chance we had to get work if we needed to. We live in Sweden where it's it's quite the social safety net is quite good here.
We didn't get an office, so we kept the costs quite low.
And we went with a publisher.
Signed with a publisher. So the worst fail scenario wasn't actually that bad.
Yeah.
That's cool. If there's something you could add to the game that maybe you recognize you don't have time to do right now, what would you love to do?
Well, that's basically what we are doing right
now.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, we can't talk about that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think we can talk to you in vague terms about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we a little bit had to rush the game to get it out in time.
Sure. Yeah.
Which meant that there is
all games are rushed to get out in time.
Unfortunately for us, we ended up with a system where we had the system for upgrading and for extending your troops and other group paths. That's a little bit sparse. There aren't many items in the game. There aren't. There's 3 classes which we're very happy with because the 3 classes kind of interact in interesting ways.
Yeah.
But each class only has one sort of skill they can upgrade to, and there's only 4 items, and there's not quite enough variety. Yeah. So a big chunk of what we're doing on the
update we're working on now.
Yeah, is to expand that, expand the number of items, expand the variety, give you more options, and to sort of build in kind of a couple of different directions. So we're trying to make it so there's more strategic choices to make, but also there's more kind of tactical choices where you have to deal with what you get given, which which is kind of in opposite directions, but they both sort of add variety to the game. So we're giving you sort of more variety in general.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're kind of, you could say we're turning the game into what we wish it would have been from the beginning, kind of. Yeah. So we're and also there's some we're, from having released the game and watched how people play and stuff like that. There's also some more general things we're changing a little bit, just to make sure it, just sort of things we've noticed.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you seen much about what people are doing with auto chess in the Dota 2 custom games at the moment?
No.
It's really interesting to look at because it's I think at the moment, of all the active Dota 2 players, about 25% of them are actually playing this one custom game.
Okay.
Which is auto chess, basically a simulation of 8 chessboards that people buy units for. You should check it out. I think you'd find it pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So it's one of the strategy games where you just put in units and then they fight.
Yeah, pretty much, but it's like an economy game as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you have, anyway, it's very interesting. I think you would find it pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, obviously, I quite like the type of games where you get, like, because one big aspect of this game is you give the broad strokes orders, but you have quite limited control, and then each individual soldier does his best to follow the orders, but they feel like they have a mind of their own as well, right? So you kind of need to learn their emotions a little bit, how they react in different situations and stuff like that. So obviously, like, one inspiration, of course, for this game was the Total War series, right, and all their simulated battles with like lots of units doing their own thing. It's more of a sort of simplified, humoristic take on that. Yeah.
That's one thing I'd also say to people who are looking to make something on their own. There's also existing games that you can create things within, like in the StarCraft 2 editor or custom games for. Yeah.
It's probably a good way to get started, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually started off with Little Big Planet. I came from the Little Big Planet community. So, yeah, and quite a few people from that community are now working on various things. So
it's definitely a good way to get something finished as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And to get feedback. Like, there's in those early days, there was quite, like, on the forums and stuff for Little Big Planet, like, there was a lot of us kind of sharing stuff and sort of, like, I guess sort of, like, feeding back on each other's sort of design process and, like, how to improve the way the game played, or where your levels played, because you were making just levels. And it's an interesting way to get started. I think there's often those things have really strong communities around them, whereas if you sort of make your own game from scratch, it's going to be a little bit more hard to find a community that's interested in your game rather than your level within a game that they're already interested in.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the experiments and project I did before this one, I just put them out online in the browser for people to use. So it was also, so they didn't have to download anything to their desktop. They could just click the link. It had to load for like a few seconds, and then it was good to go. So like making it very easy for people to access things is very nice.
That's cool. So I think I've made it down here in time.
Yes,
but I think you want to go and do some upgrading before you go to round.
Loads of
so I could do that, or I could do the active.
Yeah.
I forgot to use the active on Morton just there.
Yeah. I did see that you decided to go for the active rather than the passive this time. So
yes,
the active's fun. It's really
all right.
nice.
I'll do actives on everyone. Let's see how we go.
Yeah.
Do I want to go mass infantry?
Nah, get spears.
All right.
We'll get one more unit now, so you can just do 2 double infantry. Double infantry is pretty good.
And just remember not to charge your pikes in. Like if the enemies go the wrong way and your pikes aren't being useful,
send your infantry.
Yeah, and don't try and send your pikes. Just let them be useless for a while.
This is going to be a really easy level though.
I can just stand at the top, maybe.
There's some good plunge opportunities here, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So the plunge.
Plunge.
Got that. And I've also got the volley.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think you're.
I can probably just stay right here, and I'll be right.
Put your pike, and he's going to poke people down into the water.
I don't have a pike yet.
No, you have a pike.
I do.
Pikes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, this one.
Are there 2 routes up here or just one? There's just
the one.
Yeah.
So I can sit him here.
Here's an interesting question. The English gentleman asks, did we play around with friendly fire with things like archers or spears? We didn't much, but it's kind of, because since you don't have direct control over where they're shooting, it would feel kind of unfair if they just shot your units.
Yeah, I don't think we never actually tried it. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Because we talked quite a bit about how the friendly fire works and the other abilities, because it's actually kind of varied how they affect. Like the archery volley can do some stun damage to your own troops, but it doesn't do much, and it doesn't do any actual damage. And like the warhorn, the warhammer, which launches enemies can launch your own troops, but it can't launch the troops of the squad that's using it.
Yeah.
Because it's so if you put a squad in front of your Warhammer and jump onto them, that's your fault. But if some of your guys from your squad run forwards and while you're Warhammering, that's not your fault.
Yeah.
So we're sort of trying to make sure that you only get punished for when you do things wrong, effectively,
Can I do this?
or as much as possible.
I got one.
Yeah, you got one. Yeah. Obviously, a nice for those kind of
That's fun.
for the volley and for a lot of abilities. Actually, a really nice strategy is like if you can stop the enemy with pikes.
I think you should go
and
for a
then you
plunge
just
on
bomb.
Yeah, I
it.
was just gonna say, like, so I can hit here.
Yes.
But I'll just wait.
Quickly.
Nice.
All There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah. I really like that ability. It looks really nice.
And so they have a cooldown. I can use them
Yeah.
more than once
Yeah,
per
exactly,
turn.
yeah.
All right.
So your abilities either have a cooldown or they have a limited number of uses.
I think usually the items have limited number, and then I don't know if that's a hard rule, but I think that's for most things.
It's not a hard rule. It is essentially something. It's more a case of like if it feels like it's something that you shouldn't need ammo for,
Yeah.
then it'll have a cooldown.
Yeah.
So, like actually that doesn't quite make sense. If you pick it apart, it doesn't quite make sense. But it made sense when I was picking which one was which.
But I think
it's a little
I think it fits with the. I think item.
Mostly, yeah. No, because the Warhammer is.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's more a case of like the ones that feel like they're expending energy are the ones that.
It's gonna be too late. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, you knocked him over. Like he fell into his.
There we go.
Yeah.
The sounds are really cute as well. Hi, Messy Killers. How you doing? All right. I want to.
Yeah, you got Godric now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this I can't get to, or I can.
It will. You'll because you need to press next turn, and
Yeah.
then it'll get swallowed.
Yeah.
Right, so you missed that one. There is another. Yeah, there at Aspitten. There's another.
I can probably make it all the way. Like.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
just play Skrudur next, and then you'll.
Oh, I can go from here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just woke up, so kind of tired. I get it.
This looks like a very.
This is you could single this with a pike, I think.
Oh.
Well, it's too late now. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because no, if they send archers, you
Yeah.
want to have. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna sit up here and wait. Who are my pike guys? This one. But I maybe could put them down here. I mean, yeah. This shouldn't be too hard.
Stuff out on the map.
I think we could.
I think we could.
Yeah.
Go back to the map.
Yeah.
What are you planning?
Discussing what,
yeah, just
what-
like a feature if we can
Yeah.
talk about it, but I think we can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we'll do that when
Well,
we get back to
It's not if we can, because no one can stop us. But
Yeah.
it's whether
It's whether we
we
want to.
We
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want to sort of like discuss too much what we're doing, because
Mhm.
if things change and
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
we don't want
Yeah.
to molyneux it all up.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah, but it's not really. But that
No.
that thing is. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
we're really happy with that. Yeah, so I mean, for most people, I think who haven't seen the game before, it will seem like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But for people who have seen the game, it will be a very different segment.
Can you just double check if the door is closed? And it might be slightly open. Is it? Oh, it should be closed. Oh yeah. Or,
There we go. Olafur.
yeah, Oliver was saying maybe
You see one of the guys outside.
he was walking past before.
Oh, okay.
He's on the Uplay team, so he's.
Ah, right, all right. Thought it was we were bothering someone doing work.
Oh, look at this. New
Oh,
enemies.
hello.
Oh yeah.
Those are some big boys.
Yeah. Oh,
Are
nice.
some big
The English
boys.
gentleman says the brutal bloodstains
Oh, so they can
juxtaposed against
take
the
arrow hits.
gentle ping and clinks of the weapons. Is brilliant. Yeah. No, I really like that aspect. That, I mean, I really like leaving things on the battlefield generally, so you feel this transformation of the battlefield from like this really serene, beautiful, idyllic island to just like a place of massacre. I think it's quite. It sort of gives because it's kind of a cute game, and then like. Should you make war into a cute thing? But here, like, it is cute, but then you ruin all the cute by making it bloody
Yeah.
broken.
And there is a sense of like tragedy and stuff.
Exactly,
I think it's like
exactly, yeah.
it's something we talked a bunch about was how we sort of juxtapose those things
Yeah.
so that it feels right, because you don't want to have that like you don't want the cuteness to be entirely just played for laughs.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
it should have
yeah.
that little bit of like.
It shouldn't be like gratuitous violence. It shouldn't be like.
Well,
well,
Oscar, have you
okay,
looked at the game?
But it shouldn't be like cheerful. I don't
Yeah,
know, like Happy
yeah.
Tree Friends. It should.
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like Happy
exactly.
Tree
Yeah,
Friends.
That's exactly the thing we were trying to avoid doing.
It should like you should feel sad when your units die. You shouldn't laugh at them.
Yeah.
What we were just
you can
discussing.
upgrade Godric as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, go back
Oh,
to
the-
that.
oh, wait,
yeah,
can
just go back to.
I can go out.
Yeah,
Yeah. What we were just discussing was the fact that that previous island
yeah.
you could probably take with just pikes, but it's a little bit hard to know
What
because
enemies you're gonna get?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit like you can take. You don't have to take everyone on an island. You can take however many you want. You have to take just one. But splitting your forces is tricky. And one of the things that we've added to, or we will be adding to the game in the big patch, is that every island will call out what enemies are on it.
Types.
Yeah, what enemy types are on it. So you'll be able to see like, okay, this island is just sending melee troops at me, and there's a very easy defensible ramp, and maybe I want to just take pikes there.
Yeah, like just one pike unit.
Yeah. Or maybe I want to take pikes and back them up with some infantry or some archers, but I don't want to take my whole team there.
Yeah, yeah.
So then you can actually take 2 islands per turn and level up quicker, which is something you can do in the game at the moment, but it's not quite. Which doesn't quite work as well as it should do.
Yeah, yeah. So with those changes, it's going to work, and we're also going to vary quite a bit how difficult different islands are, and you'll be able to see that too.
Yeah.
So like some rounds, maybe you split your forces and play 2 easy islands, and then the next round maybe you like take all your best troops and play 1 hard island, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna replenish these.
Yeah. Yeah. Olaf asked us to say hi to Jonas from Raw Fury. We're actually meeting them in Copenhagen in like a couple of hours, so we'll say hi to him then.
Oh no. Get over here.
Oh, that's actually a pretty interesting. Asks, why not make it a strategic choice where you can only scout an island by 15 minutes? That's a pretty interesting idea. I think, like, because generally we want to keep features pretty simple in the game. Like, we don't want to add too many things because the game should be very easy to approach. But that's an interesting idea.
I've seen that
Probably
idea
not,
come up.
but it's an interesting idea.
I've seen that idea a few times. I've never been super fond of it. I think because of the fact that it feels like it feels off about it to me. It's hard to think about.
It's also we want you to fight with
Yeah,
your commanders.
yeah, exactly. And like I think just. But it is actually a strategic choice, like what things you take there. We're trying to improve that strategic thing. But burning one commander just to see what's there and then taking some other commanders.
So then they have like a throwaway commander that you
Yeah,
scout,
exactly.
yeah.
It feels a little bit like... It doesn't feel quite right. And I'm definitely struggling to explain why it doesn't feel quite right.
No, but the game...
But it's... yeah.
But also the main... I feel like the meta game is mostly supposed to serve and make the battles interesting. Also, so that's where we want to keep most of the fun. We don't want a complex economy that you should like. There's some complexity to it, and there's strategy to it, but it's mostly there to funnel you into interesting and fun battles.
Oh my god,
So-
these guys are serious.
Yeah, you might
those
want
are
to put
the
you
one-
might want to pull your guys back
Yeah,
and let your pikes deal with them.
yeah. Call reinforcements though, so they don't.
I think, did I?
Or
Oh,
maybe you got the last
I
one.
got it.
But yeah, those are.
Whew.
Pikes are really good against those.
Okay.
But infantry just gets knocked into the
Yeah.
water.
Oh, they get knocked into the water.
Well,
Well,
if they're
yeah.
facing the water.
I
I
mean,
mean,
they
it's
get-
also like a strategic choice when you face them.
Yeah, they quite often get hit hard enough that they die even if they don't go in the water.
Yeah.
But they, I think they can take a blow or two on the shield as long
Yeah,
as
if
they
they,
don't get
if
knocked.
they pick up the shield properly, they can take a blow on it. Yeah.
But the brutes in general, they are, they're supposed to be. They're pretty scary as well.
Yeah. But if you face them with the pikes in the right place, the pikes can hold off.
Yeah.
At least like two of them without. Oh yeah, and got a nice warhammer.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, you did.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really. It's a very powerful item if you use it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like knock an entire ship into the or.
Ah, Saltholm. That's
Yeah,
that's just out there.
yeah. It's Saltholm, for those who don't know, is an island just between Malmo and Copenhagen.
Really cool. Epic Noob Bonus. I love this game when it forces me to make hard choices. Yeah. I feel the panic setting in. I'm only playing on normal. Hard was a bit much for me.
Yeah.
I'll
But
have
you're
to
playing
get there.
more controlled now. It was mostly the panic with the pikes that was
Yeah.
that you were struggling with. Yeah.
Oh, so this is a wall.
Yeah, so they can't land the ships there.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so now, like, you see we vary the tile sets that we use to generate the levels a little bit. So now you have, you've seen some cave levels, and there's some ruin style levels with some bridges and stuff like that as well.
And some of these like kind of ruiny tile sets, they can create little mazes on the flat, which is kind of quite nice to.
Yeah, so you can like shoot archers across, but you need to walk like weird places. Yeah, and again, Epic Noob Povner says that he likes the game and when it makes him do hard choices. Yeah, I think like with this, I played through a campaign with these yesterday with this new changes of showing which enemy types you'll face, and you do make a lot more of those sort of splitting, and you get a lot more varied fights too, because you vary the. Because nowadays you mostly just pick your top team to each fight, but then you'll play a lot more islands where you just have one or two heroes, stuff like that.
And it's that thing of like at the moment you can split your troops, but you do it quite blind.
Yeah.
And that does mean that it can be quite unsatisfying.
Yeah. So there's some islands which you definitely could have won with just like one or two units, but you didn't know, you didn't want to risk it. So,
And sometimes you sort of risk it a little bit, and it turns out that island is incredibly hard.
Yeah.
And we're sending all the wrong troops at you, and you just got and it feels too much like blind RNG.
Yeah. And also it means that you get some islands with like just one or two enemy types as well, which like can feel more like just like a more varied focus experience when you have those, and then maybe you just send one or two of your own to face them. So just like more variety.
Alright. I think we're okay. You can do it! Hit him! There you go.
But you have you have two archers just like shooting away.
What was
guys there too. But they had shields, so they were good. They were just like taking in the shield. So, there you go.
Answering in chat, all of the Vikings that come on an island is deterministic. It's effectively decided when the campaign's generated. Yeah. Exactly what's coming on each island.
Well, what types are?
But it's deterministic anyway.
Oh yeah.
So it effectively is decided.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna. Oh, I can't upgrade yet. What do you find is the better strategy to go all in on one of my commanders?
I don't actually know. I don't know really. Should you like bring one to elite or bring them all up to veteran?
I think both are.
Both can work?
Yeah, both can work. I mean, I would normally be trying to play somewhat risk averse, so trying to have more units leveled up, so if I lose any one of them, you can weather that.
And there's also, of course, like the earlier upgrades are cheaper, so there's a bit of diminished, like if you have to wait to get an elite, you actually have to wait for quite a bit.
It's like 20 coins for that that upgrade, so it's quite a big thing.
But I don't really know. But some people do play like that. Some just rush up and get them to elite.
Yeah, Donna's saying rushing archers to elite. I mean, if you have like some elite archers, then you've got some very accurate troops that can kind of like carry lesser. Yeah, exactly. Sure. Elite units can cover the weakness of the other units. You can basically have them carrying your weaker units. So.
Oh, the wrong ones.
Yeah. And also, like, elite archers are, like, they have so much knockback that they actually play quite differently from the weaker archers. Like, they can face off enemies because they just knock them away or knock them into the
Alright, chase these guys down. There we go.
Nice. And yeah, there's like the game has a seasonal progression. So if you play through an entire campaign, you play through a year. So now you see you've got some mushrooms on this level. So it's like getting towards fall.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like spring in the beginning, and you get some flowers, stuff like that. And if we come far enough, we'll start like snowing. We might get thunderstorms in the late summer as well. Ooh.
Oh no.
L word. Someone dropped the L word.
Someone dropped the L word. The L word's a maybe. It's like,
So,
it would be...
that's Linux.
Yeah, Linux. Sounds from Linux. I mean, the thing with that is that it's... we don't actually have any Linux equipment.
Or like experience with...
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it's a case of clicking the build Linux button in Unity, but in practice, it's quite a lot of testing. It's quite a lot of setup and a bunch of extra things to go through. And it's something it would be nice to support, but it's not a high priority, unfortunately.
I mean, it's like, because with Mac, in theory, it's just press the Mac button too. But it definitely wasn't.
No, exactly.
So Mac is, it's not, I think we've probably sold enough on Mac to justify that work. But Mac has been, well, especially for you, it's been a lot of work, disproportionate amount of work getting things working on Mac that just work on PC. So I fear with Linux it might be even more of that, but I don't know.
On the Steam forums, there were a few people saying they'd managed to get the game running fine on emulator something on Linux. I don't know what it's called. But some kind of Windows emulator on Linux, and it's running fine. We don't sort of officially support that, so it's a bit buyer beware, but a few people have said they've managed to get that working. So probably wine. I think I saw something else as well, though, that people were talking about that I didn't recognize, because I recognize wine, but Have
you tried the Warhammer yet?
Huh?
Have you tried the Warhammer?
Oh, no.
Oh, where
use
is
it
your...
on these ones. Just knock them out.
So the Warhammer, you will...
Do I need to be like...
No. You put them down on the
logo?
Put them down,
Might be a bit late now, though.
I think you got time.
Yeah, you'll have time, yeah.
But maybe take them one square back. One square back to
One
where
square
those
back
guys
here?
are. Move those guys... Oh, no, we're going to run out of time now.
No, it's good. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't.
But... No.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Yeah,
Wait for
do
the
it on
next,
the next one.
wait for the next guys to come.
Are they
There'll
coming
be
from
more
this?
of them.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, okay, no, that's the wrong type of animals.
Yeah.
Sorry for luring your pikes.
It might have been Proton, actually. But if you check on the Steam forums, there are some people talking about...
Well, those you can Warhammer. Okay. Are you good with the timing of the Warhammer?
I think with pikes, it's not too...
Oh yeah, that's
not
true,
too
because
bad.
they'll stop by the pikes anyway.
Okay. So just wait for
I would still bring them back one step.
back one,
though.
so they're on that square? Or?
Yeah, but then move... Yes, exactly.
There we go.
So now click them, select the Warhammer.
And then just wait for them to get into
I think
square?
now's good.
Click,
Now's good.
click.
So that's your
That's
Warhammer.
cool.
Yeah. So if you if you time that one right, you can like send an entire load of the biggest ship just straight into the water.
That's
when
cool.
It's a really nice one to have on the pikes because the pikes inherently cause like bunching in front of them.
Yeah.
So you can jump and then.
Yeah. Oh no. Ooh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Go.
Now we have. No. Ooh.
No?
Do
I have
well,
time?
because you got brutes coming there.
Uh-oh.
So that's.
No, but we don't have time.
Well, you can. The archers are veteran.
You
so
have a
they-
plunge on someone. Someone has a plunge. You can plunge
Yeah.
them, and you can
Okay.
volley them. Yeah.
I'd say maybe do both at the same time. I think is a good idea.
Okay,
So you
so
can
if I
like
wait for
when
them
they
to come
when
around,
they go. Oh,
Maybe
but you
run.
don't know which way they're gonna go. Oh, but if they start, okay.
maybe here?
Yeah.
Next square, I think, and
If
And
I
then do
volley,
now,
will it...
now.
And then do a volley straight after. No,
Oh, I
no,
think
because
you-
they're behind the.
Oh no.
They, that was
Back away with those. Oh, but they have the reinforcement call as well. But they have Warhorn. Call it up there and then.
Oh
tell
no,
them
I
to
called it
go.
on here.
Yeah, because then. well,
Retreat!
Yeah.
Get
That's
out of
good
there.
though, because the commander's invulnerable when he has
Alright.
other
He's
troops.
doing fine. He's doing fine.
Yes,
Okay.
it's all good.
Whew.
You have some
I'll wait
archers.
for them
wait
to-
for the volley for the archers.
Oh,
Oh,
but now you can. Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna-
can just like.
Wait
volley
until the enemy archers are in that group as well.
I don't know if they're gonna go that far.
I'll just.
Okay.
Okay.
The volley works really
Nice.
well when they're trying to burn the houses because they obviously bunch up
No, I
and stand
lost
still.
the house.
Yeah. Oh, and then send the infantry down too. Yeah,
the-
because now they're just shoot. Oh.
Chat's laughing us for being backseat gamers.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's great.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. Team game. Hey, I am Exodus. What's up? All right. I want to do that.
But that's good. You managed. That was actually a little bit dicey, but you pulled through.
Yay.
And you got some really good use out of your abilities as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna upgrade this.
Oh, did you recruit a new unit on that round?
Maybe.
The Arthur is he new?
Also, now I have 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you could play like more than one, but you probably I don't. That's always scary.
Ah, but scary's fun.
Oh yeah, scary. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. I'm going to. More archers. Come here.
So we have two infantry, 2 archers, and
1
okay.
box.
So now you have 5. It's gonna try and encourage you to take 2 islands per turn because you've got. So if you click on there, everyone else is fatigued, so you can't take them.
Okay.
So if you go back to the map, you can just go to the next turn.
Yeah.
Rather than taking.
Because
Okay.
he's just gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So taking sort of 2 and 3 on 2 different islands. So take 2 units on one and 3 on the other.
Okay.
That
is,
can work.
That's
Yeah.
sensible,
Yeah.
but trying to take because here you've got like
There's one.
pikes and someone to support your pikes.
Yeah,
maybe-
pike and a shield could.
Yeah, pike and infantry. I think you can
Because
take
then you
this
have
one.
someone to fight archers with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if I do that,
Uh,
and then
Yeah, just clear out the other ones that aren't pike
No,
and
no.
infantry.
Right.
keep them.
so I
yeah.
clear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
clear
clear
that.
Morton. Yeah.
And then I'm good.
Yeah, that could work.
I
That
think
could
that's
work.
yeah.
All right.
I think you can take this.
Yeah, just be prepared to sacrifice the lower house. I think
Yeah.
if like you can try and save it, but if you don't manage to prepare to pull back earlier rather than lose units trying to defend it.
I think if you bring, where are the enemies coming from?
So obviously your infantry's main job here is to take care of any archers coming in.
Yes.
Remember, you can zoom
Thank
out to see the
Ah, true.
ships coming, and yeah,
So this should be fine.
they
yeah.
might go for that small house though. But
Yeah.
you can chase them down with infantry if you need
Yeah.
to.
Oh wait.
Or a plunge on them.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it.
So you didn't even lose a single one.
Oh no,
Hey.
big guys.
Yeah.
But
But
maybe
then-
bring your
But they can
pikes,
sit behind that,
bring,
right?
bring your pikes down and defend that little house.
Yeah.
Like at least try and defend that little house for a bit.
So where should I?
Probably by the mushrooms.
Here?
Yeah. I think that should work.
Do I want to plunge on them as well?
No.
Just let the pikes.
The plunge, the plunge is it can kill them. It's mostly going to stun them and take their it's going to damage them but not kill them. And typically they get up and then start putting a beat down on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So that's easy. And it's flawless.
you-
All right, you didn't
Okay,
lose
great.
one of them. So
If
that's
your
perfect.
pikes get overrun, your infantry are now here to either plunge down or to run in or clean up if they need to. But mostly just let your pikes do their thing.
Good to know.
Ooh, that guy's getting a bit close.
Yeah, but they got them. Yeah, and then the commander ran out. Pushing around a bit. Nice. Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait,
So this
now
is
we.
where the pikes really shine. Oh, but.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Hang on. What do I? Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna bring them back.
Yes. Perfect.
And then I'll wait for them to land. And then I'll chase them down.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Now. Do your thing. Oh no, I didn't kill them all, but
Which is also because they can only face one direction at a time. So sometimes when you kill archers, you want to sort of herd them so they all move in the same direction. Because
okay.
otherwise, if you split them up, then they'll shoot at you from 2 different directions.
So this is on
true.
top of stuff now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect.
pro strategy is
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, you do. You might save that. You might save a single house even.
That bonus coin. But again, like if you don't think you can comfortably save that house, then just sacrifice it.
'cause it's only worth
okay,
one,
no,
right?
There you go.
we're good.
Perfect, perfect. No problem whatsoever. No
Yay.
sweat. Yeah.
And
You need to pick an island to take with.
probably want to
So
take this.
the item islands are always extra tough.
Okay.
It's worth knowing. But you maybe if you go back to the map, you could. There's that Caldi, which is going to
Yeah.
get swallowed up next turn.
Yeah, and
There's
that's pretty good. Yeah. Because
Okay.
It's also easier because it's a lot further to the left.
So yeah, those guys can't go again this turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just these guys. Okay, but yeah,
Godric's
it's only one melee troop, but
and he's
Yeah.
kind of weak.
he's kind of
Did you go?
yeah. But you got good
suppose.
archers, and you got the
Volley.
volley. Yeah.
Alright, we'll see how we go.
Struggle if you get a lot of tanks, I guess. Though archers can deal
Yeah,
damage to tanks.
They can do a lot of damage on the way into. Sure. So.
Oh, and like a pro strategy with archers, of course, is you put them probably too late for this chip, but
Mhm.
you put them down at the beach and shoot at the enemies,
Oh,
and then
then
just pull
retreat?
them back right
Okay.
in time, right?
Yeah.
Because then they're closer to the enemies and they usually manage to kill more. But you know, if you don't pull them back, then it's fine. But that was obviously
So I
Yeah.
could
very
like.
well.
In general, your strategy. You've
Though,
got
except if the enemies are archers.
Oh no! All right, I believe in my archers. Do.
I wouldn't do
don't
that.
think you should.
I'm committed. No, it's a really bad idea. Yeah. Oh.
Like you can always put your shields just in front of your archers,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's
Oh,
always
okay.
like because they'll shoot the closest unit, so your shields can just sit there and tank while the archers shoot them from
Yeah, yeah,
further away.
yeah. But these are not archers, so that's gonna be and that's it's a kind of counterintuitive with the archers, but it makes sense if you think about it. Like when you have a large group of archers facing a small group of archers, the smaller group of archers have a much larger target to shoot at, right?
Yeah.
So they usually manage to kill a lot of your guys before you manage to kill any of those.
So.
Oh yeah,
This is gonna be rough.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough. But yeah.
Is there an island wave combination that you yourselves had a hard time beating? I think I had a tough time. This was before the rebalancing that happened
it's
a
not
while
gonna
ago.
work.
I had a really tough time where I ended up with just so many projectiles. Like I was getting the big brute archer guys with massive longbows. I was getting axe throwers. I was getting normal archers coming in big numbers. Just everything was firing projectiles at me, and that became quite overwhelming. Because even with shields, they were still just taking.
They always take a
yeah,
little
take
bit
a
of
little bit of
damage,
damage, and it was just like kind of overwhelming.
Yay!
And I mean, in general, like brute archers on flat levels are always a pain. Like we have some
Yeah.
levels that are just completely flat, so there's
Okay.
nothing. Like you can hide behind the houses a little bit, but yeah.
Are these
so
archers
you took-
stormtroopers?
Yeah, sort of, I guess. Yeah, yeah. They don't aim great, but if they shoot a lot of enemies at the same time, they're good.
Okay. Should I take the item?
Yeah, I think you're ready for that. Yeah.
Alright.
Was there no one who could be upgraded?
No, it's
Maybe
just four. Maybe Morton could get. No, because he already has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of saving up for his next big passive one.
Yeah, that's probably good. You just need 4
So
coins.
you-
So if you save everything on this
Do
one,
you want to take 2 archers or 2 infantry this
Oh,
turn?
yeah, that's a good question.
A choice you have.
yeah,
Because you've got Arthur, and you could swap Arthur out for who's your other one?
Godric.
Cedric. They're both like low level, but it's whether you want multiple archers or multiple infantry.
Yeah,
I'll keep
yeah.
the archers.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's a pretty. I mean, you have two melee troops here. I think you're good.
Okay.
So these little walls is pretty nice archer.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see what they're coming in from.
Olaf asks if there's a way to build walls later in the game. There's not. We've got like questions about building a few times in general, and well, first of all, we don't want to turn it too much into a base building game.
Yeah. Or a tower defense game. Like we don't want to step too far into those
Yeah,
genres because of the fact that they are quite.
pretty well covered. already.
Yeah, exactly. We're
Yeah.
trying to make sure it stays as something that is different. Oh, look who we have up here, Oscar?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, what's happening?
Nothing. It's fine. It's fine. You're fine.
Oh my god, I'm so
You're
scared.
fine.
But also with building, I mean, and then there's just the technical things of like we would have to rebuild how the navigation works if you would have to manipulate the navigation with walls when you play.
And just you know, control implications. Like you need to set up walls, you need to be directional, and we need to handle that for mouse and for gamepad and for touch.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So,
Which is not impossible, but it's just a
No.
lot of work, and I don't think it's the right place to put the effort. And I quite like the whole thing of like really using like human shields in the game.
Yeah.
And, like,
Oh no. Right. We're okay. Is there a way to build walls later in the game?
yeah, that was what we
Yeah.
just addressed. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So all the walls come pre-built. The most complicated feature other than platform you would have to deal with.
It's pikes.
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 Yeah. Making good spearmen. Yeah.
Hang on. Oh, they can go up there.
Yeah. So just put them right next to the little house.
Like,
That should be good. Yeah. Have a nice little choke point right here.
5S bet? I can't read that from here. Host's asking about the islands, how are they built. Oscar,
Yeah. Who's what?
bottom question.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. They are. Yeah. So how are the islands built? They are. Oh, Jesus Christ! That's a whole.
It's a big question.
Yeah. There is a. If you just Google. So they use an algorithm. We use an algorithm called wave function collapse. I didn't name the algorithm. It's a bit of a weird name, but. So they are assembled from tile maps, but it's our own system. You can if you Google my name, so Oscar Stahlberg, and wave function collapse, you'll get a YouTube video where like I do a 1-hour talk on a conference about how it's a super interesting algorithm, and it was like that's actually how the game started. It started with making an algorithm to generate environments, and then I was like, this seems nice. Let's see if I can figure out a game to build on top of this. So yeah, so they're like the islands are automatically assembled from tiles that I build in Maya.
there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Link to the
Someone's
video.
someone put that video up as a link. I mean, I think it's that video anyway. I haven't clicked the links. I don't know. Do you plan to make different types of floor for islands? I always thought it was weird that ruins and big meaty walls in Fortress Islands were covered in grass instead of cobblestone. Well, part of that is that, well, like we want to keep the visuals very simple and also distinct, right? The grass patches are nice because they are distinct from the cliffs, right? So an island are these there's like an island is 3 very simple visual features. You have cliffs, you have grass patches where you can walk, and then you have forest patches where you can't walk. So that's like a core idea, is to keep that very simple and very easily readable. If we would have cobblestones, for example, then we would have gray cobblestones and gray ruin pieces and stuff like that. So I mean that could work, but I don't know. I like it when it's this very simple, and I also like the ruins to be a bit sort of overgrown of things. I mean, I guess because it's sort of the Viking Age, so I guess it's not explicit, but I've always thought about them as like Roman ruins in England, sort of, right? That are a bit like overgrown and like
Yeah.
after the fall of Rome in Britain.
I think cobbles are quite a busy visual as well. There's
Yeah,
obviously other
yeah.
ways you could take it to be different.
They
sort
could be
of
like
thing.
very vague cobbles,
Yeah.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, I guess you can see in general that the game, like, we try and keep the textures very subtle in the game. Like, there's a tiny bit of texture to the ground, and of course you have these little grass patches, but it's all kept quite subtle and in a very sort of similar color. So at first glance, you just see the big chunky grass patches, which is what you need to read the layout of the game. But then if you do look closer, you do see that, there is actually a bit of detail there too. But the detail is always sort of secondary to the big shapes.
Oh no. They're gonna ruin those guys. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, they were the last ones. That's fine. This is cool. Is there an end?
Yeah,
There is an end.
there is an end. Yeah, you're a bit from it.
Yeah, no, I'm
Eventually-
sure.
Eventually, you run out of places to go.
Yeah, there's
and
like
you
a
have to turn
final.
in. Yeah.
There's a final island, so it all, yeah, this big node graph will run. Yeah, you'll run out of islands after a bit.
Not even made it through to winter yet.
No, exactly. Yeah. Well, you've started to see. I don't know if you saw it on that last island, but there was like some segments of darker rock built into the brighter rock. You'll get more of that. This is a flat island, so you don't see any of it here. But on the so actually the rock will start to turn from white rock to dark rock.
Oh, here we go.
Just to give you a sense of progression throughout the game. But yeah, here we have your first flat island,
Oh no, I'm
which obviously
terrified.
play quite a bit differently. 'Cause
So
there's
my-
nothing to hide behind.
Yeah, my lance guys here don't seem to be.
Well, you need to think a bit about, because there are some choke points behind puddles and things like that too. And you've got
Okay.
these
There's also
sort
some kind of obvious paths the Vikings are mostly going to go down to get towards houses.
yeah, so pikes are
That-
decent here.
yeah.
You just need to be conscious of how you place them. Mostly.
The Vikings aren't going to make too much effort to skirt around
Yeah,
you
yeah,
and flank you and stuff. They will run for the houses.
yeah.
Okay.
Tomino says screw flat island. Yeah.
I had so much difficulty when they first came into the game.
Yeah, they,
Oh, no.
they play quite differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a new enemy type here that I don't know if you saw, but they had like red shields instead. They are quite tough, but usually with pikes, they're like you can get them with pikes.
They are coming from multiple directions. Though.
Yeah, that makes them more tricky, of course. Dagger's Oath is asking us if the Viking AI is dumb. It's a little bit dumb, yeah.
It's a little bit
Yeah.
dumb. I would like to say that they're more focused than dumb. Like
yeah.
they know what they want to do and they go for it.
Yeah.
I think that's more
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. I mean, in general, also, I think the focus has been to make the sort of micro AI nice, right? So how they move around and how they interact with each other, stuff like that, and how they interact with enemies. That should look good. But it's not been super much of an effort to make the general AI super. And it's also, like, it doesn't have to be too smart. It can be a little bit predictable, so you will know how to play
Yeah.
against it. I
It's
think
like it's
that's
not
right.
100% predictable which route they're going to take through the thing. So sometimes you think they're going to go to like up one path and they go a different way, and that's kind of interesting. But like the having them try and be sneaky and outwit you, I think could just get quite
no.
frustrating more than fun.
Yeah.
And finding that balance. I mean, the goal of the AI in your game is to make the game fun or
Yeah,
engaging
exactly.
or challenging
Yeah.
in a way that is, feels good.
Yeah.
So
That's a good sort of game, like when you make games, that's a good tip in general.
Yeah.
Like the goal of enemy AI is not to be good at the game, but to be fun to play against. Oh wow,
This
that's
looks
a
terrifying.
lot of fucking enemies. Oh Jesus. Oh, make sure you get a lot of archers in. And use the warhammer.
Yes, but which way are they going to go? They're probably going to come here.
Probably, but you never know. And
you've
put
also got a bit of a
Jesus Christ. That's a lot of units. Okay, they're splitting up.
splitting
That's
up. Oh, no.
actually good, because that means they're taking more than. But
But my warhammer's here. No.
it's on your pikes, but you don't need, because there's only
You
a
can
few of them
also-
coming. You don't need the warhammer actually on those.
doing
I'm
so
so
much
scared.
micromanaging.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you can also wait for them to bunch up around a house and use the.
I have no. My volley's gone.
Oh,
I
is
used it already.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay,
well,
hang on.
Well, just shoot them with a lot of arrows, just when
Yeah.
they're stopped there. I think, yeah, you'll manage.
Okay,
That's
alright.
fine. That's all good.
Oh, there's more. There's more coming in.
They were just the squishy enemies. They're not
Yeah,
they're not the scary ones. Your volley's back, by the way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so now you can actually use that strategy. Right, so if you let them start throwing torches, then they're all standing in one spot. And then if you hit them with a volley, like a lot of them will die.
Okay. Well, they're going to stand there. Should I volley them right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can, yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, I got a few.
You got
That's
a few,
alright.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, you got
Oh.
one of them. Well,
I got
pull
one.
back the pikes, pull back the pikes.
Come back. No, he's
Oh
fine.
no, watch out for the pikes. Watch out
Oh,
for the archers.
oh no.
Send your red guy. Just send your red guy on a ship.
Yeah.
Should I replenish him?
Either in a house or on a ship. Either way,
Alright.
don't let him die.
Oh, that was close. Oh my god. It's still pretty dicey. No, I think you're.
Oh, I don't know. My archers.
Yeah, just pull them back. No, but they managed.
We're okay?
Archers are like actually.
Oh, we did it.
Archers
Alright,
are
we're okay.
fine up at this.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do not like flat islands.
Nope. No one does. That's
No
why
one
we
likes
have them in the
flat
game.
Oh.
But yeah, you got it. Yeah, rip that to Coin House. Yeah, there were quite a lot of torches thrown at that one, but it
Oh my
survived.
gosh.
You won. Nice.
Yay, and I got that one.
But there's also because obviously you can now when you play a flat island, you can clearly see how just the shape of the island
Yeah.
determines the play quite a bit, which is obviously exactly what since the game started with making islands and then figuring out what game can we put on top of these islands, then I think I'm pretty happy with how that panned out.
That's also why the game is so much about positioning and stuff.
Yeah,
It's so much about just how do you use the landscape to your advantage.
Yeah.
You appear to have a few flat islands.
Yeah, but you can play.
No.
You can play the.
Should I come here?
Yeah.
You can. Yeah,
Well,
you can do, but you can also play the ones further to the left because
Yeah.
they're a little bit easier, right? Because they get
These
harder the
ones?
further. Yeah, they get harder the further to the right you go. So you can.
So may as well get some currency.
Yeah, exactly,
All
exactly.
that. Alright.
And I don't know if you saw that, but on the map, of course, you can see how many houses there's going to be on different islands as well.
Yeah.
So you can make sure to pick the ones with a lot of.
Now my archers are looking pretty fancy.
Oh yeah, you got elite archers now. Yeah,
Yes.
you got gold on them.
with
All
a
bling.
with a ring of command as well.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of fire. That's an artillery piece right
Yeah.
there.
Okay. I think we're... basically ready?
That's where you go straight to that house.
Yeah.
They're going to do.
Oh yeah.
You got time. You got time.
Yeah, you go. Just no problem. Oh yeah, the elite. You see, they killed one on. They killed one on the front of the top.
Oh yeah. Those elites are serious.
Yeah, they are really good, and they aim much better now too. So, fewer arrows in the water. They have really nice knockbacks.
Oh my gosh.
Knock enemies into the water.
Do it. Do the shields have durability, or
No,
will they
last
just
forever?
always
We've
block?
thought about that. Mostly it's for technical reasons that
Yeah.
they don't, because then we need to lose the shield, and then the unit would have to behave correct without the shield as well. So
Okay.
it's it's doable. We've just not done it. But also, I don't think having durability in general would be nice, but it could be fun to have some
Some ways of breaking
item
shields.
or
Yeah.
ability that would break shields. Yeah, like more of a special thing.
That tree's going up a spiral there.
Yeah, I think so. Spiral
Wow.
staircase tree. I think there's a path on the other side.
Yeah. I've seen
Oh
that
no!
before.
I don't like this.
Is that archers?
Yeah, but the elite archers will be able to shoot at them quite nicely before they. Because it's there's no explicit height bonus you get from high ground, but obviously they can shoot a little bit further than up on high ground.
Okay. There we go. Boom. Oh, you can do it. Yes.
There we go. Yeah. Is it true that the Normans are more vulnerable to archers than normal shield guys? So that's the one with the drop shield, the ones that throw axes. I don't think so. Are they?
No, they have no specific. Well, only in the sense that
When they throw axes,
yeah.
they are
so
vulnerable.
if they're busy doing something, then they will be vulnerable. But that will be just the fact they sometimes drop their shields to throw stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, and Lady Tyra asks, is there's a benefit from high ground? No, not really. You shoot a little bit further from high ground. So sometimes, especially if you have archers coming in and on a ship and you shoot them from high ground, then you can start firing at them before they can start firing at you. So that can be really helpful. But
in general, high ground is gives you more range, but you do lose a little bit of accuracy.
Yeah.
Mostly because it takes additional time to to land the shots.
Also
but
the
against
trajectory.
yeah,
is- yeah.
but against ships, that's generally fine
Yeah,
because like
they're all bunched up. Anyway.
yeah. So, and if you put your archers up on high ground with ships coming in, then you don't really have to worry about them. They're quite protected from most things.
Yeah.
So, it's
I think early game, like before, like if you're really good at the game, you usually keep the archers right down with the rest of your enemies and just like move them around a lot. But then you really need to pay attention.
yeah.
So for earlier players, it's yeah, just put them up nice and safe, and then micro your melee units is usually the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it could be that the extra axe throwing animation makes them, because they get a chance to throw the axes just when the ship is about to land, and it could be that you hit them with arrows a lot at that point. But I think they work just like the shield does. They're a little bit tougher than the normal shield. Or there could be a bug in there. I mean, who
They don't
knows?
seem to be throwing their axes. I haven't seen any axes thrown.
Haven't we seen axes thrown?
I don't think I
You don't
have.
always. Okay. We haven't gotten that many of them. We've
No.
Gotten like
Where are they gonna go? We could go this way. I decided to go that way. That's great for me.
Yeah. You got them, no problem. Are there any plans for having you invade another island instead of just defending? No. We've gotten that question a bunch as well, and like, you know, I'm sure that could be a fun game too, but it's not what we're gonna make this year.
There's also a thing where like the enemy AI is all built around them attacking and either running to houses or running to fight you.
Yeah.
If we have to build AI that is and for that to work, they don't need to be really aware of very much at all.
Yeah.
Whereas if we want to make an engaging gameplay where you invade an island, they need to be thinking about choke points. They need to be thinking about the lay of the land, and especially because the islands are generated, we'd have to write very, very different AI with much more planning and much more awareness of what's going on to make that enjoyable.
Yeah. I think also. But the thing is, when you're defending the island, we can stay on the same island for some time, right? You stay on one island and then enemies keep coming, and then you can stretch it out over a few minutes. But if you attack the island, the whole battle is probably going to be over in like half a minute or something, and then, you know, then you're done. Cool. So that's a whole sort of reason why the game is designed this way, because like how do we if we have generated a small little island, how do we keep the players playing at it? Well, you bring in the enemies from the sides. So that's also that's actually like the Viking theme is just derived from that as well. Like I didn't set out to make a Viking game. It was like okay, we have small levels that you're defending, then okay, the enemies have to come to the levels, then okay, it can be an island and then they can come on boats. So okay, if we have small scale battles with enemies coming from boats, then you know, might as well put it in the Viking Age. That's like how we came up with a Viking or Viking theme.
Cool. I got 2 elite units now.
Some Elepic Noob. How do you pronounce that? Does someone have a
Epic Noob Poner.
Epic Noob Poner? All right.
There we go.
I thought it was like weird spelling of epileptic or something. Epic Noob Poner says we did see some axes. But I don't know if Hamish noticed the axe throws.
No. Wait, what? They're shooting at me first?
I think they both have the same range. So maybe we should just do
Whoop. Oops.
Oh, you got elite infantry now. They have really nice, big bling shields.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, now you can get back.
It's pretty good. They almost cleaned out all
Yeah.
of those. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, they're all archers?
That's fun. You got some elite shields.
Yeah.
Let's get the shields up front. are you now dodging arrows?
Yeah, he's getting quite good at this quite quickly. He,
It always
sense
feels-
that he
yeah.
maybe plays a lot of video games.
Yeah, but he's using the keyboard. That's always a sign
Yeah.
that someone's.
Someone's playing a lot of video games. Yeah, I just play this game with one hand like this. But I don't play that many video games. So.
Oh no. Gotta pay attention. These infantry dudes are pretty
Pretty heavy.
pretty
Yeah.
beastie now.
Yeah. You haven't lost a single one of them. I think can they take a hit without like from the normal shield dudes without dying?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So you'll see them more often.
Oh no.
If they just take one hit, they just get knocked on the ground and then they rise up again.
You can do it. Oh no.
Oh, that's 3 points.
Damn.
Hardest AI to create in the game. I mean, that's the pikes again.
Yes, pikes.
Because
again.
it's all
Pikes.
the decision making about how they move as a unit and like
Yeah.
control themselves. Yeah.
And how that's expressed to the player as well, so
Yeah.
it feels like it makes sense, and how it's like it's quite interesting technically with like because with the sword guys, like the units are just 2D billboards, right? And they're not even like we don't have them animated from the front or the back. They're just like animated from one side, with the sword sticking out on one end, and then we mirror them when we need to mirror them. And with the sword swipe, you just play the animation, just place a little swipe, and then you hit the enemy, and you can like.
Your mind fills in all the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
You understood what
yeah.
happened there, and that's all good. But with the pikes, the pike has to like be facing in the right direction, and it needs to be like looking at the enemy with the pike and stab the enemy properly with the pike, and actually have to actually like look like he hits the enemy, and then keep the pike in the same position and take another stab. And you need to anticipate enemies coming around corners or coming up ramps or stuff like that. And the pike has to look like it has some weight to it when they turn it around. So just like balancing all that and in a way that's also like with reasonable performance. Yeah, that was difficult, but we're super happy with how it turned out, and it makes for a really interesting and fun unit, I think. And that's like
cool.
Because obviously, like I think, like spears were a very, very big or like important weapon in basically during all melee combat history. But very few video games use spears properly. Like there are some sort of third-person games or first-person games that use spears, but they're all like super weird to use. They just feel like a real weird sword. And there are some strategy games like Total War that obviously does it quite well, but even then they look quite weird quite often. So I'm fairly happy that we managed to a decent take on spears.
Got a backlog of questions in
Oh,
the
yeah.
chat. So thoughts on modding support? We don't really know how modding support could even work in this game. Most
Do
of the
email us if you do.
from a technical standpoint, most of the like assets in the game, most of the like art in the game is made with very, very esoteric methods. Like none of the units look like what you think they would look like.
Yeah.
In the game. I mean, maybe like custom grass might be able to do support for custom grass.
Yeah.
No way to do editors for the levels because the way the algorithm is set up, it needs pieces that are really unintuitive to build.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Level
we don't
editors
even
for-
have a level
Yeah,
editor
exactly.
for us. Yeah.
But even if we wanted to, it'd be really hard to put together because it's not built for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that map edit doesn't it's not really viable.
Yeah.
So even though it seems like there would be some sense in that, it's very, very difficult to implement mod support in the way the game's actually built.
Yeah. The game is. I mean, like especially with with your art assets, it's like since I come from a tech art background, like I used to be a tech artist, I always constantly invent new super weird things to do with the art in that wouldn't fit. Like you wouldn't just be able to take art assets from another game and put in this. Like it wouldn't work. They're all super weird and look weird and work with weird shaders and stuff like that. What's our opinion on people modding the game through DLL injection?
I mean, good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck
yeah,
to you.
yeah. I'm.
Have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
I'm proud of you if you manage.
Yeah.
So I see this. Do I want to go here?
Go. Oh.
What has happened to your frontier? Oscar?
Yeah, there's an error in my frontier algorithm there, so it just gets all. You can play that level. That's just a normal level. The frontier, it got a bit wonky there.
All right.
It didn't really understand the shape and couldn't really figure out how to draw the line, so it made it weird.
Oh, but this is Owen. This is nice because you were about to leave him to the mercy of the Vikings.
Oh, you're saving Owen.
And now you're going to
sorry,
save Owen.
Nice. And he's an archer when you get him. Now you see you get like more of the dark rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit more towards fall as well. Like it's more brown tones, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, we've only got a few minutes left on the stream.
Well, we'll see if we can at
We
least
keep playing all
rescue.
day.
At least rescue Owen.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Let's save Owen.
Oh, I see the pushback thing you were talking about earlier.
Oh, that's an interesting. Besides multiplayer, what's the most user requested
Oh.
feature of the game? Interesting. Fast forward button.
I'm not sure. Is Domino still in the chat? He might actually
Yeah.
be able to remind us. We do read all the various forums and stuff where people are
Yeah.
talking about stuff. We don't
Yeah.
necessarily reply to everything, but
Yeah.
we do read most of it.
I think of the forums, we're most active on our Discord channel, probably.
Yeah, I hang out on Steam as well
Okay,
quite a
yeah.
bit. Oh, my.
iOS release date. Yeah, so from mobile.
2019.
So sometime
This year. Yeah.
is the yeah, more better abilities. Yeah, exactly, and that's also what we're working on.
Yeah.
So just like more of the more of the kind of content that's already in there, which is
Yeah.
like completely fair, and we should have had more from the beginning. So that's what we're making. Also,
and rebalancing some of the things, like as you talk about the ability to take multiple items per turn, making that a better feature.
yes, that's been big.
Um,
That's a big thing.
Reducing some of the sort of death spiral, like we want to make it so you can lose a commander or two and it's not a problem, like you can keep on playing. And a few things like that that's, it's kind of there but not quite, so we want to improve those things.
Oh no!
Yeah.
They made their way up.
And there's a question about the time of year. Is it based on amount of levels played or distance traveled to the right? Ooh, I don't exactly
It's
remember.
distance travel to the right.
No, not for the weather, isn't it? I think all levels have a time of year, and then when you just enter a level, it just sets that time of year.
I don't remember.
But if you
actually.
enter more than one level per turn, it's a bit weird, and it's like not super deterministic. So I think there are ways to make the time of year work weirdly, but it's not super obvious when that happens anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. But I don't remember. There's some weirdness going on in the time of year thing. We should change it to just number of turns anyway. I've been meaning to maybe do that. Because there's some colors on the levels that work better in some times, and the colors and the foliage is decided, like what kind of trees you get is decided when you generate the level. So there's some changes we would need to do, but I've been actually meaning to look into some of the time of year things and maybe give you some nicer, even more colorful fall levels, like with maybe trees in multiple colors and stuff like that as well. But yeah, it works what's in there now, so I haven't gotten around to it.
Foley's saying this is going to be awesome with touch. It already is awesome with touch if you buy it on Nintendo Switch.
Yes, it is. You can play with touch.
You can play entirely on the touch, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can choose between gamepad and touch on there and swap between them as you want.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to pick this up for my Switch.
Yeah, it plays really well on the Switch. Actually, when we started, this game is named Stalberg, so that's my name. We didn't put a Meredith in there. But it's less of an island name.
yeah.
But the touch. The game actually. When I first started the game, it was gonna be a mobile game. Because I had Unity and I could build for the mobile, so I thought that was gonna be fun. So the core game design is actually built around mobile and touch. So that's why like the strategy is so simple. Why you have sort of large tiles that you can click on with your fingers. But then we transitioned to like focusing mostly on the Switch and the PC as our main platforms, which was like probably for business reasons that actually the best decision to do.
Sure.
But then it will also, but that means that making it for mobile just means performance optimizations basically, because all the design already works and the touch already works and stuff like that.
So the wind isn't affecting my arrows, right?
No.
Okay, good.
It should. It should, but
We
it doesn't.
talked about that, but it's like it's not.
We just haven't
It's
made
next
it
level.
yet.
Yeah.
Well, like we should, and Richard has told me this several times as well. We should either make it affect the arrows, or we should make the wind less harsh when it's windy. Because if it's this windy, it should affect the arrows.
Yeah, it's sort of there's a bit of a thing with like the actually making it affect the arrows is kind of is relatively simple if you just treat wind as a fixed force, because then it's just as though gravity's going in a different direction.
Yeah.
But then you have kind of line of sight stuff that might get a little bit, because you're actually going to have to then start placing your archers so they can curve
Shoot
around
like,
corners and stuff, which
might be cool.
It could be cool, but
Yeah.
it might just make it a little bit harder to position them and work out.
Yeah, we could just make the wind less rare, or more rare though, less frequent. So
Yeah.
it's not very often, but when you get it, like you get this.
It's more like you get a specific storm.
Yeah, exactly.
Island.
Yeah, that could work.
We will also be looking. We will be looking at the sort of ramp up of the first few levels as well. There's sort of bit of stuff going on in the chat there. Like at the moment, it ramps up very slowly, and we kind of. There's a mixture of reasons for that. Some of that is for the initial kind of first-time user onboarding kind of thing, but it does get frustrating for people who are playing it more and go back to the beginning, and then they have this very slow ramp up.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking into changing how that progresses and making sure that we keep it so that it can be, welcoming for new players, but also be much more engaging for those of you who are wanting to a bit more experienced.
It's also just naturally in the. There you can see the drones and axes.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, these guys, they throw what guys with the green drop shields. Just before they engage, they throw an axe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is like because you're facing them with a shield, so that's all good. They can catch but if you try and face them with pikes, the axes will just cut right through the pikes.
And quite often break.
Your defensive
cause your pikes to break before they even get to them.
Yeah. So like a strategy you can use sometimes against the axe throwers is you have the shields at front, just let them catch the axes and then pull them back and you have the pikes behind you. I don't know how well they throw up hills like this, the axes.
They don't throw very well hills. I would like to
Yeah,
find
that
a
would
way
be-
to improve that.
Oh,
Nice.
I don't want to stop playing, but I gotta go.
Yeah,
That was
right,
really
well,
fun,
pick you
guys.
up later.
Oh, there's a bomb now.
Yeah, the bomb.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming into the office.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
no,
us.
it was super fun.
Yeah, it's like you're going back in time a bit.
Yeah. It's been. I think it's been 3 years since I've been in here last time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's fun.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Chat again. If you want to check this out, it's on. Wow, I'm in so many places now. Steam.
Yeah,
Steam,
Switch.
GOG, Discord,
Switch.
Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Mac App Store if you want to buy it through there.
Cool.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, and coming.
Remake.
No.
Humble Bundle. There you go.
Yeah.
Basically everywhere. Just look up Bad Noise. I'm sure you'll be able to find it somewhere. Very, very cool. And there's a free demo on Switch too, apparently.
Yes,
People
there
say.
is.
Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here, and hopefully we'll have you back in for when you inevitably have the PvP update.
Oh, that might take a while.
All right.
We'll
Thanks.
definitely come back if that happens.
Yeah.
We promise.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you again. Something happened with the audio. I'm sorry. You might have. Sorry.
Yeah.
Rip. All right. See you again soon. Bye.
Bye.